thank you so much for joining me. Just tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, my name is Charlene Brown. I am the Director of Upward Bound Math and Science, Capaya in Claiborne County for Hines Community College. I am also an adjunct professor for Jackson State University. And most importantly, I am an advocate for women and relationships.
So you wear a lot of titles and you do a lot.
I try.
All right, so the stigma is, you know, a lot of millennials, they love to be in relationships and they like their bays and all of this kind of stuff and they want to go on vacations. But a lot of stuff that we see is when they come out of the relationships, they are hurt, they're broken sometimes, depending on what type of relationship they've been in. So what advice would you give? Even some of the stuff that you've seen, I know you're an advocate for women and things of that sort.
I'm very big on that because what I found is women, we can get in relationships, but when we get in relationships, we make the relationships our lives, and therefore we lose ourselves. And so I'm a big advocate on women knowing who you are regardless of the relationship, if you're in it or if you're out of it. So I've found that the millennials, the new women, don't understand how to be in the relationship but not make the relationship their life.
Mm-hmm. And
therefore,
so living for themselves as well.
Yeah, so therefore you lose your identity. And because I've done it before, I understand where they are.
And so, again, and talk about you understand, you've been through some things I know we were talking about just a second ago. Let's just, if we can, just dive into that. I do understand that some things that you've been through, it will help someone else. So if we can, let's dive right into it.
Okay. I've had a divorce. I've had several relationships that were not good, healthy relationships. And therefore, with me having those experiences, I was able to look back at the situations and realize I made some really, really stupid and dumb mistakes and some things that I feel like I could have done a little bit better. And so I felt like rather than keeping these things to myself, it's more important to share these things with the younger women and let them know the do's and the don'ts or what you can avoid avoid the same mistakes that we actually encountered.
And so looking at a relationship from a woman's standpoint who has been married and is currently married as well and been in multiple relationships, what do you consider a healthy relationship? Because I think most millennials have this preconceived notion of what healthy is based off of their standards, the new standard. But the question, I guess the big question is, you may be able to answer or may not, what is really healthy? You know, when you look at a relationship that's healthy, what do you consider a healthy relationship?
Wow, that's a good one. Healthy for me is compromising, being able to meet each other where you are, not going in with the mindset of trying to change a person, because that's not something you can do. And what I do know about women, we have the mindset that, oh, if I get him, I can change him. That's not how that goes. You go in with, this is who I have, and either you like this person or you don't, as if the way they already are. So healthy is that. Healthy is putting God first, being equally yoked. I'm big on that because from previous experiences, as I've said, you can have a person that's not of the equal to you. And that can be very, very unhealthy. Healthy is knowing who you are and not losing yourself in the relationship, having your own identity.
And so coming out of the relationship, because again, you know, like we said, a lot of people come out of a relationship, relationships damaged, things just didn't go right for whatever reason. What's the first step that you would say that would help a person get from where they are, broken, either hurt or damaged, not trusting anymore, whatever the case may be, to get into where they need to be, which is whole and being able to progress in areas of their life that they weren't progressing in because of the relationship?
I do feel a person needs to heal first. I think we jump ship too fast. When we get out of one thing, we jump into something else. And therefore, you're taking baggage from one relationship into another, and that's very, very unhealthy. I think you need to take time to know who you are again and learn to love yourself. Most women look for someone to love them. No one can love you like you can love yourself. So getting to know who you are and identifying yourself again, loving yourself again, finding out what your morals and values and goals in life are versus what his are. We often try to please him and cater to his being and not ourselves. We kind of put ourselves on the back burner. And like I previously stated, I lost myself that way, trying to make a relationship something that it wasn't. So I do feel like the first step is to sit, heal, and find yourself again. That's going to be the first thing.
And so if we can just really quick go into detail, just as much as you can elaborate finding yourself, what are some steps that people can do or women can do to find themselves? Because basically you have to, from what I know, you have to sift through what you've gone through to fight to get back to where you were. And sometimes even where you were before the relationship is not even where you were supposed to be.
Right.
You know, and so how can you sift through all of that, plus what you've got going on with your family? You know, if you've got a child, that's another thing. You know, relationship with parents and what have you. How do you sift through that to find out, who am I? Who am I really? You know, who really am I?
You have to balance. You have to balance, even with family, marriage, relationships, and everything. You've got to learn to balance all of it. To find out who you really are, sit and ask yourself, am I doing the things in life that I really want to do? And is there someone holding me back from what I really want to do and where I want to go in life? You've got to sit down and evaluate yourself and look in the mirror and say, where did I go wrong? We can't always blame what went wrong on the other person. Sometimes we have to sit and look at ourselves, and that's another thing that women do. We blame everything on the male figure, but at the same time, you allowed it to happen. And if you know who you are, what you desire, and where you're going, then some of those mistakes you won't make. But you need to sit down and really evaluate and ask yourself, am I the person that I really want to be? Am I settling for what I can get? Am I getting who or what I really want? So it's self-evaluation that we don't do a lot. And if we sit and think about those things, you will honestly say, oh, I just kind of you know, when I would sit and think about it, I would be like, wow, I did that, you know, and just be like, you kind of dumbfounded, you know, like I really did this. So yeah, just finding out who you are.
And I guess when you've been in something and you finally come out, you can kind of look at it like, what was I thinking?
In hindsight, like, oh my God.
What was this?
Yes,
you know, how did I even allow this to happen? That wasn't me. And I guess that's a good part too, when you can come out of something and realize that although, you know, you messed up or you've gone through something, once you come all the way out of it, you can look back and say, wow, I've gone through a lot. And then that comes with wisdom and knowledge and, you know, kind of carefulness and your selection and all of that good stuff. So,
because when you're in it, you're blind. Other people can see, but you can't see, and people are saying, like, you can't see that? Like, you're dealing with that?
You don't get it? You don't understand?
Right, because at that moment, you think that you're so in love, you cannot see what's going on. You're blind to the fact. So when you come out, it's like your eyes are open to what you were actually in.
Wow, that's good. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Brown, for that good information. You can find this on our website at WJTV.com, and you can also check out our social media outlets. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and even Snapchat.